The Los Angeles Lakers find themselves at a crucial crossroads this season. While the team has some solid building blocks already in place, there's a clear and pressing need for an upgrade on the wing, specifically a genuine two-way player who can make a tangible impact on both ends of the floor. The Lakers have shown flashes of brilliance with their current lineup, and the addition of a player like Marcus Smart certainly brought a new defensive toughness and energy that this team desperately needed. Smart's ability to disrupt defenses and lead by example has made a noticeable difference. But one man alone can't carry the entire defensive load, especially in a conference as competitive as the Western Conference. What the Lakers truly lack is that versatile wing who can guard multiple positions, while also being a credible threat on offense. Someone who can seamlessly fit into the rotation, take pressure off their stars, and open up the floor with reliable shooting and smart decision-making. This kind of player is incredibly valuable in today's NBA, where positional flexibility and defensive versatility often decide championship outcomes. The Lakers roster looks better when they have those three-and-guys, players who can knock down threes and stay in front of their man, and landing one more of those pieces could potentially elevate this team from a good squad to a true contender. The question is, where did they find that player? There are always rumors swirling about possible trades or signings, and while some names get thrown around frequently, none seem like a perfect fit or a guaranteed upgrade that justifies giving up key assets. Andrew Wiggins often comes up in these conversations. His skill set as a two-way wing is exactly what teams look for, but his availability and the price tag attached to him make it complicated for the Lakers. Right now, Wiggins doesn't seem to be on the trading block, and if the Lakers want to pursue him, it would likely require them to part with significant pieces or draft capital, which might not align with their current roster-building philosophy or salary cap situation. That's why it's worth looking at some less obvious but intriguing options, players who might not be household names but could fit the Lakers' needs perfectly. If the pieces fall into place, one player that's been overlooked in many discussions but could make sense is Aaron Nesmith from the Indiana Pacers. The Pacers are entering a bit of a rebuilding phase. They lost key contributors like Miles Turner and Tyrese Halliburton for significant stretches last season, and their outlook for the upcoming year isn't particularly bright. The Eastern Conference's weakness might help them sneak into a play-in spot, but realistically, they're not expected to compete for a deep playoff run. Nesmith, who is just 25 years old and turning 26 later this year, fits well within the Lakers' timeline. He's young enough to develop further, but also experienced enough to contribute immediately. Indiana might be willing to listen to trade offers, especially if they decide to fully commit to a rebuild and focus on accumulating draft assets. That creates an opening for the Lakers to explore a mutually beneficial deal. Indiana would need to recalibrate their roster and clear some salary, especially considering Turner's contract and the potential financial commitment to resign Nesmith after this season. The Lakers, on the other hand, could offer salary relief and draft capital in exchange for adding a versatile wing who can slot into their rotation right away. From a purely financial standpoint, Nesmith's current salary is around $11 million, which is manageable for a team like the Lakers that has cap space flexibility but also needs to be mindful of luxury tax implications. In theory, a direct swap involving a player like Gabe Vincent could work on paper salary-wise, but obviously the Pacers would want more than a one-for-one swap. They would likely seek additional assets, such as draft picks or promising young players. Someone like Rui Hachimura, who is on the Lakers and making a comparable salary, could be involved in a package deal. However, it's unlikely Indiana would accept simply exchanging role players without receiving draft compensation or younger talent to build around. Austin Reeves is another name that comes up in this scenario. Reeves has proven his value and is making slightly more than Nesmith, but his fit alongside Pacers players like Halliburton might appeal to Indiana's front office. His skill set and relationship with the team could make him a more attractive piece in a trade package, though the Lakers would need to consider whether giving up Reeves aligns with their long-term plans. After all, Reeves has shown flashes of becoming a significant contributor for Los Angeles and could continue to grow into a key role player. From a purely basketball standpoint, adding Nesmith would give the Lakers a reliable wing shooter with solid defensive potential. He has a history of making shots at an efficient clip, especially from beyond the arc, where his career three-point shooting percentage sits around 38%. That kind of spacing would open up the floor for stars like LeBron James and Anthony Davis to operate with more room, something the Lakers have desperately needed at times. His ability to defend multiple positions also fits the modern NBA's demand for switchable defenders, a vital element for playoff success, of course. It's fair to question whether swapping out a player like Austin Reaves for Nesmith would represent a true upgrade. Reaves' contributions on offense and defense, his ability to handle the ball, and his chemistry with the Lakers core all weigh heavily in his favor. Simply exchanging one wing for another doesn't necessarily guarantee a better team, and the Lakers front office would need to carefully evaluate how Nesmith's skills and style of play mesh with their existing roster and coaching philosophy. If adding Nesmith means sacrificing too much in terms of future assets or roster depth, it might not be worth it. The ideal scenario would involve the Lakers not only acquiring Nesmith, but also creating some salary flexibility or asset movement to bring in an additional piece who complements the team's core. For example, flipping a player like Rui Hachimura, who has struggled to find a consistent role in Los Angeles, could open up room for more impactful signings or trades. The Lakers have to think creatively and be willing to take calculated risks if they want to contend seriously this season. Another layer to this discussion is the presence of Bennedict Mathurin on the Pacers roster. Mathurin had an impressive postseason run and is seen as a player with significant upside. His emergence complicates Indiana's decisions as they'll have to determine how to allocate minutes and roles between Mathurin, Nesmith, and other wings. If Mathurin pushes hard for a starting role, Nesmith's minutes and role could be in flux, making the Pacers more open to trade talks. For the Lakers, getting a player like Nesmith might not just be about what he brings immediately, but also about how they can leverage the Pacers' internal roster dynamics to their advantage. From a numbers standpoint, Nesmith's efficiency stands out. Last season, he shot over 50% from the field on about 8.5 attempts per game, including an impressive 43% from three on more than 4 attempts each contest. He's a capable scorer who can catch fire from long range, something every contending team craves. He also contributes around 4 rebounds and 1.5 assists per game. With a solid defensive presence marked by steals and blocks, this combination of shooting, defense, and youth fits a Lakers team looking to maximize its championship window. The bigger question is whether Indiana is willing to part ways with Nesmith and what the asking price would be. The Pacers are in a complicated spot. They have some veteran pieces and young talent, but may be leaning toward a rebuild, or at least a retool in the near future. That means they could be motivated to clear salary, bring in draft picks, and start fresh with a new core. If the Lakers can offer a package involving a mix of players like Austin Reaves, Rui Hachimura, draft picks, and salary relief, it could be enticing enough for Indiana to at least listen. Ultimately, this isn't about a straightforward swap. It's about the Lakers making bold moves and exploring every avenue to shore up their roster. They are close to contending, but need that extra piece who fits seamlessly and can elevate the team's defensive toughness and shooting reliability. Aaron Nesmith might not be the flashiest name out there, but his profile fits what Los Angeles needs: a young two-way wing who can step into the lineup and contribute right away, of course. Trade talks and front office negotiations are complex, and there are no guarantees any deal happens. The Lakers management has to balance immediate championship aspiration with long-term sustainability, which means evaluating the value of draft picks, salary cap implications, and player development trajectories. But if there's one thing clear, it's that the Lakers can't settle for just good enough. They need to push for upgrades that have a meaningful impact, especially if they want to challenge the best teams in the league. From a fan's perspective, adding a player like Nesmith would inject energy and versatility into the roster. It could also signal to the rest of the league that the Lakers are serious about their championship chase and willing to make necessary moves to get there. This is the kind of strategic thinking that separates contenders from pretenders, identifying underrated talent, understanding roster fit, and being willing to make tough decisions. So as the Lakers navigate the offseason and the trade market heats up, keep an eye on these kinds of potential moves. Whether it's Nesmith or another two-way wing, the goal is clear: build a team that can compete at the highest level, defend at an elite standard, and knock down shots when it counts. That's what championship basketball is all about, and for a storied franchise like the Lakers, the stakes have never been higher. As the Los Angeles Lakers weigh their options in pursuit of a true two-way wing, they face not only the challenge of identifying the right player, but also the delicate art of roster construction. In the modern NBA, the complexity of managing salary, cap space, luxury tax penalties, and long-term contracts means that any move has to be carefully calculated. The Lakers are fortunate to have stars like LeBron James and Anthony Davis, who provide an elite foundation, but the supporting cast needs to complement those stars without creating imbalance or diminishing future flexibility. One of the biggest challenges in today's league is balancing immediate competitive needs with sustainable roster building. For the Lakers, this is particularly pressing because LeBron, now in the later stages of his career, requires a team that can win now but still remain viable beyond his tenure. A two-way wing is vital in this equation because they bring the kind of defensive versatility that can mask the occasional limitations of aging stars while providing consistent shooting that stretches defenses. In many ways, this wing player serves as the glue, the piece that holds the team together on both ends. When the Lakers acquired Marcus Smart, it was a clear step in that direction. Smart brought energy, toughness, and leadership that injected new life into their defense. However, relying solely on Smart's defensive capabilities puts a tremendous burden on him, especially when opponents deploy multiple wings capable of attacking mismatches. Smart's defensive skills are elite, but the Lakers need another player who can share that responsibility and keep opposing stars in check. This is where the hypothetical addition of someone like Aaron Nesmith could be transformative. Nesmith's ability to defend various positions combined with his shooting prowess would allow the Lakers to run multiple defensive schemes and maintain offensive spacing. However, trade discussions surrounding Nesmith highlight the inherent difficulties the Lakers face. Indiana's rebuilding mindset suggests that any deal will require the Lakers to part with valuable assets. These could include draft picks, young players with upside, or veterans who have salary cap implications. The Lakers must weigh these costs carefully. Giving up too much could stunt the team's growth or force them into cap crunches that limit future moves. On the other hand, standing pat and refusing to make bold moves risks stagnation, especially when competing teams continue to upgrade. In this context, evaluating potential trade partners becomes critical. Indiana Pacers, as a team in flux, might be open to creative offers that include salary matching and future assets. The Lakers management has to identify what the Pacers value most, whether it's young players like Austin Reeves, future draft picks, or cap flexibility. Packaging these assets cleverly could unlock a deal that makes sense for both sides. For example, including a player like Rui Hachimura in a trade could entice Indiana because of his youth and potential, even if he hasn't fully realized his value in Los Angeles. Another dimension of the Lakers' roster strategy involves the development of their own young players. Austin Reeves, in particular, has emerged as a promising contributor, showcasing scoring ability and versatility. His growth trajectory suggests he could be a foundational piece for the Lakers' future. Trading Reeves away for Nesmith or another wing would require the Lakers to be confident that the incoming player's immediate impact outweighs Reeves' potential growth. This decision embodies the classic dilemma of win now versus build. For the future, strategically, the Lakers need to think beyond just one trade or one player. Building a contender in the modern NBA is about depth and versatility across multiple positions. That means acquiring not only a two-way wing but also maintaining or improving the team's bench strength, guard play, and front court depth. Injury risks to stars like Davis and James are always present, so having a resilient and adaptable roster is crucial. Players who can step in and contribute without disrupting chemistry are invaluable. Nesmith fits this mold due to his role player mentality and ability to play within a system. Moreover, the Lakers' front office must consider the intangible benefits of bringing in a player like Nesmith. His work ethic, locker room presence, and attitude toward the game are important factors that might not show up on the stat sheet but contribute significantly to team cohesion. Chemistry can be the difference between a group of talented individuals and a championship-winning team. The right personality in the locker room fosters accountability, trust, and resilience during the grueling NBA season and playoffs. Beyond the immediate tactical benefits, the Lakers must also anticipate the league's evolving trends. The NBA continues to emphasize pace, space, and versatility. Players who can switch defensively across multiple positions while stretching the floor with reliable shooting are in high demand. Teams like the Golden State Warriors and Miami Heat have demonstrated how such players can be difference makers. The Lakers need to emulate this formula if they want to compete consistently at the highest level. In addition to personnel moves, the Lakers coaching staff will play a pivotal role in integrating any new additions. Head coach Darvin Ham has shown a willingness to adapt strategies and empower players who fit his vision. A player like Nesmith, who is coachable and understands his role, could thrive under Ham's system. Developing trust between coaching and players is essential for executing defensive rotations and offensive schemes, especially in critical moments. Another layer of consideration is how such a trade impacts the Lakers' salary cap outlook. Acquiring a player like Nesmith requires careful financial planning. The Lakers operate close to the luxury tax threshold, and exceeding it significantly can be costly. Therefore, trades often involve balancing incoming and outgoing salaries, including the potential need to move veterans with larger contracts. The team's ability to navigate these financial waters will influence the feasibility of any deal. Also, the timing of a trade matters. Early season moves provide opportunities for players to gel, while mid-season trades can address unforeseen needs, but risk disrupting established chemistry. The Lakers must be patient but proactive, ensuring any transaction aligns with their broader goals. Waiting too long could limit options, while rushing could lead to suboptimal deals. From a competitive standpoint, the Lakers must also analyze their rivals' moves. The Western Conference features powerhouse teams constantly upgrading their rosters. The Phoenix Suns, Denver Nuggets, Golden State Warriors, and others have built strong cores with complementary pieces. To keep pace, the Lakers need to match these moves. Bringing in a two-way wing like Nesmith could be part of that response, giving them more tools to defend against dynamic offenses and create mismatches. Furthermore, player health is a continuous concern. Anthony Davis has struggled with injuries throughout his career, and LeBron James, despite his remarkable durability, is no exception to the aging process. Having versatile wings who can absorb minutes and guard multiple positions becomes even more critical in such scenarios. The Lakers' depth can be the difference between an early playoff exit and a deep postseason run. Looking beyond just Nesmith, the Lakers' pursuit of a two-way wing could include multiple players. The market for such players is often competitive, and the Lakers may need to explore free agency, the trade market, and even development of young talent. Identifying undervalued players with upside can be a key advantage. Scouting analytics and understanding fit within the team's culture are essential components of this search. In the end, the Lakers' mission remains clear: assemble a championship-caliber roster that balances star power with complementary role players who bring versatility and toughness. The search for a two-way wing is a critical piece of this puzzle. Whether it's Aaron Nesmith or another player, the front office and coaching staff must work in harmony to ensure that acquisitions align with the team's identity and goals. For fans and observers, these moves will shape the Lakers' trajectory in the coming seasons. The franchise's rich history and championship pedigree set high expectations. Every roster decision is scrutinized, and the pressure to win is immense. But with smart decision-making, a willingness to adapt, and a clear vision, the Lakers can position themselves to compete at the highest level. In summary, the Lakers' quest for a two-way wing encapsulates the broader challenges of NBA roster building, balancing talent, chemistry, finances, and long-term planning. As the offseason unfolds, their ability to navigate these complexities will determine whether they can build a team capable of capturing another title in the golden era of LeBron James. This journey will require patience, creativity, and sometimes boldness to make the right moves at the right time. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on in what could be one of the most sensational moves of the NBA offseason, whispers are swirling around Los Angeles that the Lakers have successfully secured Zion Williamson from the New Orleans Pelicans in a blockbuster trade.